Good morning. This is Pamela Bluewater with J&S Biblical Productions in the year 66 at the home of Jesus' second apostle, Simon, to get a personal interview. Peter, as Jesus called you, wrote to Christians around the world to remind them to live holy and godly lives. Thank you for having J&S for this exclusive interview. Simon Peter, what should I call you?
My name was Simon. I was a professional fisherman, brother of Andrew. I was chosen second by Jesus. He renamed me Peter, which means rock, to indicate that I would be the rock-like foundation on which the church would be built. Jesus wanted me to be a fisher of men.
So, wow, I read your second letter to Christians. Would you tell us what your purpose was in writing that letter? It seemed kind of fiery.
Yes, I don't mind saying that. The Christians were in danger of being confused by false teachers. I wrote them 2 letters to explain the best way to resist false teachers is to grow in the knowledge and practice of the Christian faith, and God would destroy the false teachers.
What were they teaching that was false?
All right, they would introduce destructive heresies, exploit you with the stories they had made up. Bold and arrogant, these men were not afraid to slander celestial beings. They blaspheme in matters they do not understand. They are like brute beasts, creatures of instinct, born only to be caught and destroyed. Like beasts, they too will perish. I said this in chapter 2, verse 12.
I think I get the idea.
Well, my name is Ruth Ricochet, and I do public relations for J&S. You know, false teachers remind me of dirty, dishonest politicians that, they never tell the truth. They lie on a regular basis.
Yes, I see what you mean. False teachers with eyes full of adultery. They never stop sinning. They seduce the unstable, and they are experts in greed. I said this in chapter 2, verse 14.
Yes, exactly like politicians. They lie, they sin, and they are big at mistreating women.
You remind me of what I wrote in the second letter of Christians, chapter 2, verse 18. For they mouth empty, boastful words, and by appealing to the lustful desires of sinful human nature, they entice people who are just escaping from those who live in error.
Wow, Mr. Apostle Simon Peter, you're spot on. You're describing the type of people who are elected dictators of many governments.
Miss Ricochet, I don't know what politicians you are referring to exactly, but I have to say those kinds of people, as you describe, would have been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than to have known it and then turn their backs on the sacred command that was passed on to them. That's in my second letter, chapter 2, verse 21.
Peter, I think we've got the idea of what false teachers are.
Miss Bluewater, one last proverb. I said this in chapter 2, verse 22. A dog returns to its vomit, and a sow that is washed goes back to her wallowing in the mud.
Oh, Peter, you're so poetic. I'm going to convert to your type of Christianity.
It's Jesus, not me, you must follow. But thank you, Miss Ricochet, for that profession of faith.
I just heard what you said, Simon Peter. I'm Bertha Sedgway with J&S Biblical Productions. So I have a question. Do you think that human nature will change over the years, or do you think that false teachers and prophets will still remain?
Miss Sedgway, I think there will not only be false teachers in the future, but these kinds of men, as I described, will be trying to persuade the people to believe that all the faults of the Republic can be blamed on the pagans that came before.
In that case, you must blame prostitution and sin on the Roman Empire.
Miss Sedgway, you may be getting into trouble here antagonizing the Roman Empire. Peter, you struck a chord with our public relations employee. She is with you all the way. Thank you for spreading the gospel. This is Pamela Bluewater with J&S asking everyone to read Peter's 2 letters to Christians. Good morning.
What are your thoughts on today's story? We'd like to know. So leave a comment and subscribe to our channel, J&S Authentic Biblical Productions. Whether it's the Word of God through parables, true stories illustrating parables, or true stories in the life of Jesus Christ with commentary, you can see them all by subscribing to the most comprehensive collection of videos of biblical stories for you and your family. Have a blessed day.